It's time to go through my case tracker so you can keep up with the 167 plus and growing lawsuits that have been filed against the Trump administration. And you're feel more empowered because you are aware you can check in on the cases on your time in the middle of the night if you get anxious and you just want to know what's happening. I'm going to give you the tools and let you know those resources that I use so you can go and support those and check them out as well. Or you can get my guide, which is a companion document to the work that I'm doing here on social media, helping edify you, helping alleviate some of your stress, anxiety, and simplify the legal cases so you just feel more aware and more empowered. All right, so let's go through with that and let you know here's my guide that I charge $7.99 as a way to support my work I do here. You can get that. It's sandwiched. The case tracker is sandwiched in between a bingo card because we need to gamify and make light where we can of this. So as the Trump cabinet gets confirmed and eventually people quit, we can gamify that towards the end. It's a case tracker with ways you can keep up with the different cases. There are hyperlinks to all the association, organizations, communities, companies, unions that have filed the lawsuits, so you can go join them, donate to their cause, sign up for their media alerts so you can know if there's a call to action, if they need you to write your congressman, if there's a campaign to submit to a specific agency because we're trying to get some stuff on the record. You want to do all those things. Whatever category that you are most passionate about, I recommend you just follow one or two because it could get overwhelming. But anyway, it's a 35-page and growing document that I have here, and when you purchase it, as I update it, you get it. I haven't updated in a minute, but everyone who purchased this before are going to get the updates, and they're going to keep getting the updates. So it's a one-time purchase. If you were to get a venti latte at your local coffee shop and get all the works, you're going to spend more money on that. And that's one drink. With this, you're empowered for a long period of time. So, and it's someplace you can just go and figure out what's going on in the case. You hear the name of the case I mentioned in the video, you can let me go to my case tracker that I've downloaded, that I've bookmarked it. It's a folder, it's a tab on my thing. I can quickly go and back up. All right, let's go through the case tracker. So the way I organize this is 5 categories of targeted communities. The first one coming out the gate is federal civilian employees. The second one is migrant and immigrant community. When I say immigrant, I don't just mean undocumented immigrants, even though MAGA, the Trump acolytes, have said that they were looking to shut out undocumented or illegal immigrant. And I say illegal because immigration is a civil matter. It's not a criminal matter. And no human can be illegal. You can be without your paperwork authorization to be here, but no human is illegal. And they actually have expanded to people who are actually here authorized. So folks who have visitors visas, temporary student visas, permanent green card holders, the temporary protected status, asylum, refugees, people who are awaiting processing who've already availed themselves to the immigration and custom enforcement, and they've been given work permit, the dreamers. All those folks aren't necessarily documented, but they all are not illegally here because they all have status. But the Trump administration, is, if you know from the news, have been coming after them because they're trying to purge America of all brown and black people. That's what I feel like. And for the black people that are stuck here, they're just trying to sideline their history and make us forget it. So it really is a white supremacist regime trying to make America white again, and it's also pandering to the great white replacement theory, if you ask me, but that's a video for another day. So that's the second category. The third category is trans community. The fourth is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And to the extent that the scientific community or the education community supports diversity, equity, inclusion, or supports trans rights or trans opportunities, they're going after them. And finally, environmental law. Just like last time, the Trump administration are not a fan of environmental regulations, and the environmental regulations nonprofits fight them on that. So those are the 5 categories of cultures that the Trump administration has chosen to attack versus do something about the inflation or do something about childcare costs or the ability of Americans to actually survive. They're supporting huge tax cuts for the wealthy on the backs of the poor. And you get a sprinkle of culture war. I hope you guys are happy you voted for. But anyway, so let's go through the list. Enough finger wagging. All right, first you're going to see here Doge, the actions against Doge, which is Department of Government Efficiency, or Elon Musk. Their actions towards dismantling agencies, trying to avoid transparency, to avoid filing Freedom of Information Act requests, intimidating judges, their actions towards funding freezes, during reduction in force, trying to corral federal civilian employees that have certain rights under certain schedules of the civilian laws, and removing grants, removing high-level officials, independent agencies, and watchdogs, because I guess the Trump administration is so corrupt and doing so many lawless things that they don't want the watchdogs. And they even try to remove which is the Democrats from like the Federal Trade Commission. The Federal Trade Commission is always supposed to have 2 members of the party that's not in office per law, but Trump doesn't care about the constitutional law, and that's why he gets overruled. Anti-union activities and immigration status, I divide these up into 2 categories: authorized and U.S. citizens, because they've attacked the birthright citizenship of actual U.S. citizens. And authorized people, like I said, students with visas and green cards. We just saw today, if you're following the news, that the immigration court said that they can start deportation hearings against a green card holder for his own speech. It's a topic for another day. Those who are visitors. Temporary protective status, people who have been authorized because of what's going on in their country. The United States government throughout its history will let large swaths of people come here as a holding pattern until some turmoil, coup, the weather disaster in their country dissipates and they go back. Asylum, these are people who come because they're personally persecuted. Refugees, people, again, similar to temporary protective status, people come here because their home state is in shambles and they come here on a temporary basis. Sometimes people settle. And then we have the unauthorized. So for the unauthorized, they're attacking those institutions that support them. So you might have heard recently that schools, for example, files, and a judge says that the school didn't have standing to challenge ICE from coming into schools or churches, and it was a church that lacked standing. You have immigration services, lawyers, access to detention, IRS data sharing, anything that's helping, supporting, upholding, sanctuary cities that help and support undocumented people. Essentially, I guess their thing is that's the draw, because they have sanctuary cities, because they have access, because they have support, because they have all this stuff. That is why undocumented brown people come to America. But I just want to pause to remind you here that Donald Trump is a child of an immigrant. His mother was an immigrant, not from this country. His father is a child of immigrants. His grandparents both came from Germany. Donald Trump's, all of his children are children of immigrants. And so, yeah, it's kind of messed up that somebody whose whole generation and whole ancestry came here because America accepted immigrants, now trying to say we're not longer accepted immigrants because they're brown immigrants, because they're racist white supremacist organization, which is Trump's regime. And if you voted for him, if you're not white, cis, male, rich, shame on you, because you voted against your interests, and they don't include you. All right, it's trans community to extent that trans athletes, trans gender affirming care for trans kids under 19, passport policy, websites that relate to gender ideology, trans in the military, trans in prison. It is a violation of the 8th Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment to try to take female presenting trans prisoners to a male prison. Ridiculous. Then you have anti-diversity and civil rights cases where they're trying to go after colleges and universities for promoting diversity. You have also the attacks on science, education, and then random law firms, the AP, federalism, conjunction prices. Then I have a road to Supreme Court where, as the cases go to Supreme Court, you can march and track them. So that is the tracker I went through fast towards the end, but I hope you consider purchasing it as a way to support my work here. Or if at least it's a guide, it's a document, it's a way you can easily, quickly get access to these cases without having to go and search and go figure it out and go look and things like that. You have your document, you tab it, whatever, and share the link. Don't share the document with other people who are interested in tracking these things and keeping up. And I'll try to update it more. But like I said, once you get it once, it's good for life. All right, this is JJ Legal. You can follow me here on all social, JJ Legal. Get this tracker, and then you can consider subscribing to my communities where I try to go in deeper. I need to get more organized and do them more regularly, but that's coming forward. I'm just a little bit overwhelmed. This is all kind of new. This area is new to me relatively, and I'm trying to keep up, and it's a lot to keep up with, as you can imagine. All right. Thanks. Tell a friend who could tell a friend. Share this video also with other people in the fight who are interested in keeping up with these cases and tracking and knowing what's going on, because you'll feel empowered once you know.